All right, we take you to the West Coast for a really interesting conversation with Pastor Dr. Emmanuel C. Andrew, and the name of his book, God's Law, Man's Law. He has an interesting background, I have to say that, and what he's been able to do with it, I think you'll find pretty fascinating too, as well. So we're happy to have him with us on Author's Corner here on America Tonight with me, Kate Delaney. Pastor, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. You too. So tell me why you wrote this specific book. It's very specific, saying God's law, man's law. And I know you're talking about life and lifestyles and all of that. What made you decide to write it?
Okay. By the time I finished the first book, and God gave me a lot of inspiration concerning what is happening in the world today. There are so many things going on in the world today. It is not his intention, and he did not permit so many things to happen. But the world is full of drama, and the drama pleases the God of this world. And the God of this world is not against humans, but he took pleasure in the things of the world. But the God that sent his son to show us the way is the God that ministered to me and gave me vision to introduce this book to the whole nation, so that our nation can be rebuilt, refined, and be dedicated to the rules of law. So that is what I want to inspire people all over the world concerning the book. It's a research book. It talks about God's law. It talks about man's law in different dimensions.
Yeah, and so tell us more about that. Tell us more about God's law versus what people don't understand, how it works with man's law or works against it.
Okay. What is happening in the law of God has confused so many people. So they use the law of man to contradict the law of God. Why the law of God is where we subtract the law of man. We subtract from the law of God to build the law of man. So the law of God is not actually against the law of man. And the law of man is twisted, and that twisting causes the problem that makes people today, they are confused. So many religion people, they are attacking the law of man, thinking that the law of man don't supposed to exist, while the law of man is very essential. And the law of God also is very essential. So when we apply the law of God, we'll be able to apply the law of man.
So in doing that, why do you think there's difficulty? Where do you see the big difficulties and the biggest breakdowns now?
The biggest breakdown for man to believe that the law of God exists, that we get the law of man from the law of God. And by the time we begin to obey the law of God, we find it very easy to obey the law of man. And we know there is no way we can actually obey the law of man, every law, because we obey the law, there will be no job for the court. There will be no job for all the government parasites. So that is the reason why we need to know the law, so that we can observe the law, and also where we can disobey the law, so that the whole system will continue to function. But the God of the heaven did not create the earth for us to keep everything perfect, because the whole system is not perfect. But the law can bring it to perfection.
It can bring it to perfection. I understand.
Yes.
So for you Tell us about your journey to the United States and into becoming a pastor.
When I graduated from School of Ministry in Nigeria 2013, and I had the voice clear that prepare, you'll be traveling. And I thought, oh my God, what is this? Is it real, or is it Europe or Asia? Where is the place that God wants me to go to? So I didn't know. After that year, 2015, I had the connection to move into the United States. So by 2016, I came to United States, and at Washington State, that's where I came first. So from Washington State, I stayed there 1 year. Then I moved up to California, because California is very good. I saw this good spirit in California, the angels. So when I moved down here, the Spirit of God and everything about me ignite and lighten up. So I began to see everything about me, my destiny, my purpose here on earth. So I now know that it's not basically where you were born or wherever. God sent you here for a purpose, so you can fulfill your purpose anywhere, any place. And it has been wonderful since then.
Wow. So how rewarding is it for you?
For coming to the United States?
Yeah, for coming to the United States and being able to do what you're doing, which includes being an entrepreneur and so many other things, being involved in other things in your life too as well.
It has been so wonderful, so articulating in my life, and that I feel so joy that United States is a land of promise, is a land of excellence, that if you have a purpose, when you come here, you have a focus. No matter every storm, you don't shift. You don't allow the storm to shift you. You stay on your calling, focus. The United States will give you the grace, and they also help to fulfill your dream.
When people read your book, Pastor, and we're speaking with Pastor Dr. Emmanuel C. Andrew, when they read your book, God's Law, Man's Law, what do you hope they walk away with?
When they read the book, God's Law, Man's Law, they're going to walk away with the full understanding of what the law is about, the law of God and the law of man. They're going to walk away with some experience to witness the presidents of the whole nation and their names and the meanings of their names. They will also walk away with the understanding and the experience they're going to get there concerning the methorisms of the laws of the spirit and the law of physical. So every of the passage of the book and every name there broken down the meanings of every law that guides the spirituals and physical. They're going to walk away with the example of what is going on in the world today. There are some characters in the book they're going to sit there and read and find out what has happened in the past and now concerning the conflict going on in the world today. It has happened somewhere, and they're going to understand there are different characters that came from the spiritual realm, the people that fought in the past in their kingdom. There are Miro kingdom, there are Jackie kingdom, world, and different characters there. They're gonna also understand the different articles of nations is also inside the book.
Wow.
And so yeah. It is a wonderful research book.
And I want to tell everybody to get the book, then go to readersmagnet.com/bookstore. You can pick it up there. Pastor, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You too.